Let's take a bit of a break from Redux for a moment and focus a bit more on the rest of our application. Now, based on the mockups that we've looked at previously, we certainly know that we're going to need a header component and a list component of sorts, right? Something to render the list of all the different topics that we're going to have. Now, we've already got a header component built from our previous projects, so I think we should take the same approach as last time. We're going to copy and paste over all of the common components that we had used. Okay, so again, there is some fancier ways of sharing code across projects, but just for the sake of this application, kind of in the context of this tutorial, we're going to take the easy way out and just kind of copy paste some components over. So the first thing we'll do is inside of our TechStack project, we'll make a new folder to hold all of our components. So inside my source directory, I'm going to make a components folder, and then inside of there, I will again make my common folder. So I've got components, common. And just to be clear, the idea behind the name common is these components are common to many different parts of the application. That's the idea behind common. Okay, so now we're going to copy and paste our components over. Inside my console, I'm just going to go ahead and pull up my project directory and pull up a second window. Actually, let me do this from the command line. There we go. Okay, not getting the second window. That's fine. We'll do this the hard way. So I'm going to go into my auth project, which was the last one that we worked on. My source folder, components folder, common folder. And here we go. Here's all the different components that we made that we've been carrying through from project to project. I'm going to just copy them all. And then I'll go back to my TechStack project, which is the one that we're working on right now. I'll go into my source directory, components directory, common directory, and boom, paste them all right in there. So again, however you want to do this, you can copy from the command line, you can copy from the file explorer, whatever way you want. Basically, we just want this set of components inside of our common directory. Now again, if you feel like you're not super happy with the state of these components right here, if you feel like, maybe my spinner isn't quite put together correctly or it's not working, I encourage you to go check out the official course repo and just copy the common components directly from there. And again, you can find the course repo on GitHub. There's a link to it in a much earlier section within this course, so feel free to check it out if you would like. All right, so flipping back over to my code editor now, I've got my common directory, and here's all the common components inside of it. So just to kind of get something on the screen, just to get something working, let's make immediate use of the header component. So we will import the header component into our app and place the header on the screen and just verify, yep, this is showing up and everything is good to go. So inside of my app component, I will import header from components/common. And again, we are making use of that convention where if we just import a directory, we'll automatically pull in the index file if it contains one. Then inside of our component here, inside of the app, I will place my header tag. And I'll give it a header text prop of just TechStack or whatever you would like. If you'd like, any other name in here, feel free to go for it, some customization. Now, the one thing I want to point out here is that we have the provider tag. Remember that the provider tag is what serves as glue between the Redux side of our application and the React side. The one little tricky thing about the provider is that it can only have one single child component. Now, that child can have as many subcomponents as it would like, but right now we have two children that we're passing to the provider. So if I render this in the simulator right now, I would end up with a big fat error message, something about the provider only being allowed to have one child. So I'm going to fix that by wrapping my header component with the view tag, like so. So now if I have multiple children, other children that I want to toss in here, and I certainly will, I can just place them right in here, wherever else, or whatever other components I would like to have. So that would be a nice setup. All right, let's check out the simulator. Yep, simulator is running. Pretty sure my terminal is running with the React packager. Yep, let's refresh. And just verify that I've got a header on the screen. And yep, there we go, there's my TechStack. Fantastic. So we pulled over all of our common components. which means we can reuse just a ton of code. Going forward from this course to projects that you work on yourself, I highly encourage you continue carrying over these common components right here and just develop them over time. And after, maybe you make a toy application or two, you'll end up with a set of components that you know really well and you can use to put together future applications in a really, compact time frame. Okay, let's continue in the next section and start focusing on putting together a list of libraries for our application.